Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is not financial advice. I tell you about y'all, Miss Baby, because it's about to get hot in the kitchen. I wanted to tap in with you and let you know about a few stocks that are taking off, but the ride is not yet done. I always want you to talk to a licensed financial advisor in your area because investing carries risk, but you've seen us take calculated risk, and that's why we've been able to have the returns and the student success. For example, GQ fam, he just said, Keenan, okay, one more trade to end the day. Thanks. And he just made another $720. We're getting into trade after trade after trade. We hit 4 in a row. And then he jumped into a 5th one and got money again. So I want to salute you and celebrate you in the video. And then we got another member of the family. He said Google is still crushing it and just showed that he is now up over $1,600 or 72%. Again, salute to you, family. Now I want to put you up on some more that I'm looking at. The first one being AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. It's currently $215. It's up 4% on the day. However, it's way less than what it can be and what it was. The reason that we're looking at AMD today is because there's been a false narrative going on that computer chips made one way are better than computer chips made other way. So this is what's going on. AMD and NVIDIA, they both make what's called GPUs. But Google, who is the all-star today, they make TPUs. And they're saying that Meta, aka Facebook, is looking to make TPUs as well in 2027. So the whole Wall Street is in a frenzy, and they're thinking to themselves that, oh, we don't have to pay 10 times as much for the GPUs. We could just use the TPUs. So then you're seeing companies like Google are running up like crazy. And shout out to us for getting in that before Wall Street decided to run it up. And now they're saying that Meta is going to have a similar product being a TPU for 2027. So we want to appropriately load ourselves into certain positions, which I'll keep y'all up to date on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's go through the first article. It says TPUs are not killing GPUs. The AI chip pie keeps getting bigger, meaning there's enough space for everybody, but there keeps becoming more and more space. What is this space? It's the money being spent on artificial intelligence. On the stock market, that's called CapEx, or capital expenditures, from these large hyperscaler companies. What does that mean? You got these huge companies, family, and they throwing money at AI to the point of just in 2022, they were spending $30 billion on it. And now it's 2025 and they already spending about $140 billion on it. So it's getting crazy, family. They expected to spend even more money going forward on all of that. Imagine 2026 and 2027. And honestly, you don't even have to imagine. I'm gonna put you up on some game right here. The TPU growth is set up to surge. However, the AI chip revenue for these companies is set up to surge too. Look at these. You see these bars? This is 3 different years. You got 24, 25, and then 26. In 2024, NVIDIA, the big green bar, they made $115 billion off of their data centers. This is where they train the artificial intelligence, or when you type something out, you send the information to a data center over the internet, they process it in a super data center computer, and then they send it back to your phone. But they made almost double that at 192 just the next year. And then in 2026, NVIDIA is expected to make about $305 billion. So what does this mean? That the artificial intelligence capital expenditure is just getting bigger and bigger because all of the companies want to expend more of their capital to make sure that they got the best artificial intelligence for us to be able to use. But I want you to check this out. It's a small little piece in here on the same graph, and it's AMD. And if you look, AMD actually had $13 billion in revenue in 2024. And in 2026, they're expected to have $26 billion in revenue, meaning they expect to double it. So that's what we like to see. So since they're going to be able to do that, as long as artificial intelligence keeps pumping strong, this is going to be one that's really going to have the opportunity to go crazy once everybody starts to see what's going on with it. So I often tell you, trade with the chart and not with your heart. Where are we looking for AMD to potentially go to? It came down and hit a point on the chart, which I talk about often. It's called the fair value gap. And this means when you get a jump up in price, sometimes we come down halfway and test it out again before going back up. And I'm gonna teach you all about how to find these undervalued stocks because we've been absolutely knocking it out of the park. I'm gonna do a free webinar. The link is gonna be in the top of the description. Make sure you secure your seat if you have not done so already, family. I'm telling you, you do not wanna miss this one. This is gonna be on Black Friday, and I look forward to seeing you over there. However, Now that I got your attention, I'm gonna show you one right here. AMD, it came down to about 194. Once it hit under the 200s, we knew it was a buy, we knew it was a deal. The fundamentals of the company started looking well. And then, what are we looking for next for where it can go? If we break over 217 and close the day above that level, the next level I'm looking for is for it to run up to about 238 and then potentially past that to about 263. So the first stop is 138. The next stop after that is 263 if we can hold above both of those numbers. But we looking for it to close the day. The stock market is closed and you see that it's over 217. That'll be the first sign. But that's just one stock on the market. We got another banger that we looking at, and it's Robinhood, ticker symbol HOOD, of which we just picked up even more of it. Shout out to you if you own any AMD or if you own any Robinhood stock. Let me know in the chat. Put A if you own AMD, put H if you own Robinhood, and put A and H if you own both of them. Robinhood is now up another $12 today, aka a 10% move on this entire company. It's $128, and we were loading up on this one near the bottom. I sent out the buy alert, and I told everybody just on the 24th that we was loading up on this one at 109. I told them, tis the season to be shopping, family. So we picked up some of it, and many people picked up even more. But I wanted to just send that alert out to show you that when things come down and the whole world is thinking everything is gonna fall, you ask yourself, if the stock market come down, do you think things are gonna be more on sale? Or do you think they're gonna be less on sale? Or they're gonna be more expensive? You gotta ask yourself these things, right? I seen a better deal on Robinhood, so then I decided to take it and tell everybody about it. Now, where am I seeing Robinhood trying to get to? It's trying to get back to about 140. And if we could close above 140, then we're gonna go to about 150. Since I could see these numbers in range, I always remember to trade with my chart and not with my heart, because I know Wall Street likes to frustrate you and play games. So what do you do when they decide to turn things around? And when you see it headed towards something that it was supposed to get to and then they don't allow it, that's when you allow yourself to cool off or let your stop loss at certain levels. You always gotta have one of those when you're trading, but you gotta let your stop loss hit certain levels. What do I mean by that? Let's say you get in right now at 128 and you say, okay, if it come back to 119, I wanna get stopped out of this and be back in cash so I can pick it up at the $100 level. That's how you got to think, and that's how you're going to be successful. But you asking yourself, why is Robinhood pumping up all of a sudden today? Why are the artificial intelligence companies pumping up all of a sudden today? The reason is Wall Street, they needed to get their cash back right. They was already loaded up in all of these different kind of stocks. So then they wanted to chase after what Warren Buffett was doing with Google, of which we was already in there. So shout out to them for running us up. But they wanted to chase after what Warren Buffett was doing because he started to buy Google stock. And then they had to get their cash right, so then they let the whole market come down. So then you sell out, and they hope that you sell low so that they could buy low. But we knew better than that. If you knew better than to sell, write that in the chat. I knew better, so I could see who I'm rolling with, family. I know we knew better than that. Let's just keep it real. But this is why Robinhood is pumping up. First of all, Wall Street is ready to get back into the game. They already knew all of these things was going to happen, but now they let you know. And they said that Robinhood market shares are up 8%, and we just seen it's up 10%. On a new exchange that they launched, and they got a new partnership. This is what it says on the bottom. They aim to expand their array of predictions contracts that are tied to sports, elections, and other events. You remember a video that I made back in the day? Some of y'all are new, but we were talking about how Robinhood is basically becoming a casino. So we might not like that Robinhood is a casino, even though it's an investing app, but they are expanding themselves into making money with people who want to gamble. So if people want to gamble, owning Robinhood is like owning a casino. So then the house always wins. So I'm gonna prove that to you right here. If you look all the way on the bottom, you'll see that it says the transaction revenue grew 129%. Why am I showing you that number? Because it says the transaction revenue grew. Not revenue that they grew from going out and doing more work. Not revenue that they grew from going out and planting more trees or clearing the water out. No, not revenue they did from digging up gold. No, they got revenue from people's transactions. The more people that do a transaction, the more money that Robinhood is gonna make. So since we know that, once they get people over here who are now gambling, they're gonna make more money on those transactions again. So it's just clear to me that they just want the most people to do the most transactions so they could grow what? That transaction revenue. And that's why they up 129% year over year. And then down here, it says that they have 26 million customers, and then they grew their gold subscription customers 77%. Family, this is insane. And now the predictions market revenue already doubled quarter over quarter. So it just doubled literally in a quarter to 100 million annually. Family, come on now. Robinhood is going crazy. So then I got my eye on that one. And the last one I got my eye on is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something I'm dollar cost averaging myself into. We just recently went back up above the 90,000, but now we came back into the 80s, and I'm loading up here too, family. I see this one as a long-term play that I can see going up 500K, but I'm telling you, if you're in a crypto space, it could fall 80%. You got to know how to assess these things, and I'm gonna teach you that in that webinar. I can't wait to see you on Black Friday, family. I hope you're ready. I hope you got your notepad, because I'm coming with the heat. I see you on the next one, and take care.